Why nobody wants to host the Olympics? This could be fire, and it's short. We're going to try it out.
It's September 2017, and members of the International Olympic Committee are gathered to pick the city that will host the 2024 Olympic Games.
Hey, LA didn't win for 24, but I believe we have it for 28. Do you guys all want to stay at my place and come watch the Olympics in 28? We'll get like a big Wingstop order. We'll all just eat some lemon pepper wings. Should be swag.
9 cities applied for 2012, then 7, then 5, and for 2024, only 2 were left when it was time for a vote.
I didn't know
so
that.
The IOC did something it's never done before.
The IOC was so concerned that nobody would bid to host the games in 2028 that it simultaneously awarded the games 2024 to Paris and 2028 to Los Angeles.
LA's getting cold feet. LA's like, wait a minute, what the? Hey, times are different, bro. By 28, we don't have the budget. Don't lock us in.
So in the late 70s, the IOC was barreling towards disaster until one city offered to save them.
Let's go, LA!
Under one condition. Los Angeles did not want to spend a lot of money.
We're cheap.
To do that, it offered to use venues it already had instead of build new ones. The LA Coliseum, where the...
Yeah, I forgot to mention, they asked me about this. We're hosting the 2028 Olympics in my backyard. I forgot to mention this. Yeah, because we need to save on space, they said. And so I'll have the grill fired up. And I've got like a little track area that I sort of carved out. I'm trying to get a hoop. So we can do men's basketball. What about bathrooms? There'll be a bucket. Sorry, I like to keep my bathroom clean and personal, so there'll be a bucket available.
Since the IOC didn't have a choice, it said yes, and was soon glad it did. The '84 LA Games were a success in almost every way, but especially financially. It only cost around one.
Is 84 the peak of America's cultural influence? Like other countries thinking America is swag. I think it is. Everyone immigrating to America, Hollywood's peak influence, like peak gap over other cinema, everyone watching American films. Michael Jackson, biggest star in the world. That or after Soviet Union fell? I think it's before. I think 84 would be, I'm not saying the 90s were much different. 90s is still, and then after 9/11, I think it starts to really shift.
This chart shows how the cost of the games skyrocketed over the last 30 years, reaching between $10 and $25 billion in the last decade.
Sheesh.
I want to add one big caveat to this chart, though. It only includes sports-related costs to the games. It doesn't include things like new public transportation or development projects that most all these cities spent money on for the Olympics. If we include some of those costs, these bars are actually way higher. So, for example, some estimate that Beijing spent more like $45 billion for their 2008 Summer Games.
Okay, here's a geopolitical strategy. Biden, write this down. We convince everyone to submit again, but we always let China win. So China hosts every Olympics, winter and summer, until it bankrupts them. Okay? 45 billion, a lot of money. China went all out. We just keep doing it, and suddenly they're overspending. Can't they just reuse the venues? No, it has to be a different city. It can't be Beijing again. It's got to be Shenzhen or something, dude. They need to have an Olympic stadium in every city.
The most commonly touted legacy benefit is that hosting an Olympics is a great way to kickstart your city's growth.
What historically came out of the public relations with regard to the Olympics was that this was the most wonderful thing that could ever happen to a city. It puts your city on the world map, so it will increase tourism, it will increase commerce, it will increase foreign investment.
And that's what Paris and Los Angeles need, to be put on the world map. I never heard of these fucking rinky-dink ass cities, dude. What they need is a little bit of public perception. They need to gain a little fame.
And a 2010 study that found little evidence of any benefit to tourism of hosting an Olympic Games, and considerable evidence of damage. In other words,
if the weather is particularly too warm, or if it's too cold, if there are security incidents, if there are bad stories about the traffic, that some cities are able to maybe help their image, but other cities are hurting their image.
Many legacy infrastructure.
Wait, you mean there is such a thing as bad publicity? What? Chatters will tell me that's not true. LA is cooked on traffic? Dude, we can't show traffic. LA 2020 Olympics, we have to ban all cameras from showing traffic because it's too bad for the city. Or we need to add more lanes. Yes. That's what we should do. We should spend $150 billion adding new lanes to everything. We should have so many lanes that we just do the Olympics on the highways. Like the track and field should be built into the highway and you just run. You got to run the mile and the half mile and everything right there.
Andrew argues that while Rio's subway line benefits some residents, what the city really needed was a line serving the lower income neighborhoods inland.
They say, we need these 30 venues and we want you to put them in ways so the transport.
Sorry, why would the government money go to help poor people? Right? Does anyone else hearing that? Doesn't it just sound wrong on your ear? It's like, we can tax them. We can take them. Why are we going to give it? If you give it to them, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. It just was really weird. I'm sure they didn't mean it. It's probably misunderstood what they're saying, but like that really hit my ear wrong. It's like, no.
Empty stadiums are a particularly visible sign of this mismatch. That Beijing stadium had about 80,000 more seats than what the local soccer team could fill. So it backed out. Now the stadium sits most...
Yeah, I mean, that's so much pressure. Hey, we built one of the biggest stadiums in the world. Now we're going to give it to a local soccer team. Just go fill that every night. Like, what? We got to fill this monstrosity for our regular season games? That's crazy. You better be good. You guys better be generational.
The IOC had 6 cities bidding for the 2024 games until protests forced Boston and Hamburg to drop out. A new mayor in Rome fulfilled a promise to shut down its bid. Then more than 260,000 people signed a petition that led Budapest to drop out as well. It left the IOC with just 2 bidders, and once again, little leverage. The IOC has also stopped taking bids and instead negotiates with cities privately. It picked Milan and Cortina, Italy, over Stockholm for the 2026 Winter Games, and it gave Brisbane, Australia, the 2032 Summer Games. But some are arguing for a more permanent solution.
Someone said that's why the French are using the river. They don't want to build an Olympic pool, dude. They're going to fucking swim in the shit river. LA River. Yeah, we're going to swim in the LA River for, for the Summer Games. Yep. We'll swim in the LA River, the cleanest river on earth. And then I think for Brisbane, we just need to make sure that Bluey makes an appearance. If they can somehow tie Bluey to the games in 2032.
A permanent spot would eliminate white elephant projects, save cities from going into debt, and reduce the game's environmental footprint.
Everyone would be so pissed if they made LA the permanent Olympic host forever. I feel like all the other countries would be mad. And then I think all the LA residents would be mad because it would lose its luster. I think it'd be a big L. I don't think it would work. I mean, Greece would make sense thematically. Not super confident in their ability to do it. Standstill traffic every 4 years. Bro, what? LA has standstill traffic at 1 a.m. sometimes. Sometimes you can get in your car at 1 a.m., go drive to tacos, and you'll get standstill traffic. I'm not kidding. You can you can get standstill traffic at the most random times.
It's not going to be easy to go to a model that makes environmental sense and economic sense. But I do think it makes sense to talk about it and put it out there as someplace that we should be heading.
Depending on how the next few Olympics go, it might be the only direction left.
Check them out. Yeah, good video. I liked it.